All right, so hi, good evening once again. I'm going to start today's class. Well, as you know, the first 15 minutes are going to be, well, to work for some review, to try to explain some things that I mentioned before, so that I wait for you, all right, until 8 o'clock and we can start the class. I'm going to then go back a little bit and mention again what we're doing. We're working with the speaking strategies. This is the first part. These are things that you already know, but we're practicing to improve our speaking skills. For example, it says, right, don't translate. Don't use your head to translate. That's very important. Some people, even up to this point, are still used to translating everything that they have in their minds. And that's not good because they are wasting time and they are trying to look for specific words and they are doing things that they are not supposed to do. That's why they, I don't know, right? They have a lot of problems when they try to express themselves using English only. So something that is very important for you to do is to stop using Spanish, even in your head, and start thinking in English, right? That's what everybody says. It's hard to do it sometimes, but it's not hard if you know how to do it in the sense of try to be surrounded by the language, right? I was asking you the last class, how often do you practice your English? How often do you listen to English? And some other questions related to speaking and to your connection with the language. Some of you are kind of connected to it, but most of you are not, all right? And that's something that needs to change. Perhaps because of your job, all right, you are connected to the language, and that's very good. You have a big advantage then. But anyway, you need even more. To have all your devices and everything that you use in English is one big first step to improve this skill. All right, so don't translate, accept the idea that you'll make mistakes, and that's something that it will happen, all right? And it's not bad. I mean, you'll make mistakes. Everybody will make mistakes, and it's okay. You have to keep going. You have to keep speaking, keep practicing, and those mistakes are going to be fewer and fewer, right? Every time that you speak. Don't look for specific words. That's also very important. It happens to everybody. It happens to every single person. You want to say something, but you don't know how to say that word. Don't do it. Don't say that word. Try to look for other words that are similar or try to explain that word in other words, right? That's the best thing you can do. Keep your speech simple. If you don't know how to use complex words, if you don't know how to use that in specific context, right? Don't use those words. As it says in the last part, right? Add new words little by little, but don't try to add a lot of new words, right? The next day you learn them, and don't try to do that, for example, in your test. If you are in a test and you need to work on the speaking part, try to use words that you really know how to use. Of course, you can experiment a little bit with new words, but do it little by little. All right? That's very important. So that was the first part. We talked about that. Then we were talking about paraphrasing. And this is very important, sorry. Paraphrasing is using your words to say something, right? It can be something complex, and you can paraphrase that idea in a simple way. Sometimes you read a very complex article, you don't need to understand every word. And in fact, if you're going to take the tests, the international tests, you are sure that not only you, but also native English speakers don't understand all the words that they see there, because this is about many kinds of topics, right? Biology, physics, astronomy, right? And you have a lot of topics. So don't try to understand all those topics, right? And don't try to understand all those words, because that's not even going to be possible with native English speakers. Instead of understanding everything or wanting to memorize every single word that you have in English, it's important to have a good vocabulary, but don't think that you're going to memorize every single word that there's going to be in the test. All right. Instead, it's better if you learn how to analyze some articles and how to understand those articles without understanding all the words, right? And that's the idea of paraphrasing. That's something that we did. And that's something that we did with you, Nicolas. Now that you're here, I'm working on a review, all right, so that everybody can watch the video and can get an idea of what we did last class. So that was the first activity also, right? The paraphrasing. We listened to that lecture and we had to paraphrase everything that we were able to understand from that lecture. It was about morality, it was about ethics, it was about goodness, it was about many things, all right? But the main idea there was to have something so that you can explain at least that little something that you were able to get. So what I want to do now, I know that perhaps you listened to only some details. Nicolas, you were telling me a little bit, I think, in the comments. But what I want to do now is listen to what you were able to, let me open this, to upload and to give you my feedback. Even though it's a different idea, but it's important to follow the instructions. Nicolas and also Melanie is going to watch this, and Stefania. I'm going to play your audio now, all right? And I'm going to listen this with you, Nicolas. But before starting, tell me, what happened in this lecture? Was it hard to understand, or how did you feel that lecture about goodness, morality, and morality?
Hello, teacher. Well, this lecture talked to us about goodness, as you said, as we said, and that, and how goodness could affect us.
Okay, good. And how easy or how hard was it for you, Nicolas? And why? What was the hardest part listening to that lecture?
Mm, some words or some phrases that are be together, so that sounds different. So it's a little difficult for me to understand that.
All right, it's good. It's good. Now we're going to read the instructions again, and we're going to see if you were able to follow the instructions. All right. So first, we'll listen to the lecture. Good. I think you followed that instruction. We'll listen to that together. Second, paraphrase everything in 40 seconds minimum and 60 seconds maximum. We're going to see if you did that. And that's the most important part. But in the second step, you have two things, right? In those 40 or 60 seconds, you had to paraphrase that lecture, all right? So the audio that I'm going to play now should be related to that lecture. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to take a look, and I'm going to give you some feedback about expressions or words that you're going to use. Let's listen to this.
Well, in this lecture, we could appreciate how this person talks.
Okay, in that word, be careful. It's going to be appreciate, right? More like sh in that part. Appreciate. We're going to appreciate, or we could appreciate. Okay, good.
Us about how we are judged for a lot of people. Or
all right, so we are judged. If you say judge, then it's not going to be correct. You may say we are judged, right, with D, but it has to be very, very strong there, Nicolas. We are judged, right, by others.
Judged.
Yes, you have
judged.
Judged, exactly.
Okay.
Because you are receiving that action, right, in passive voice. So you need to use the past participle. All right, good.
Well, for many reasons we are judged. For example,
we are judged, right? Because of, instead of for many reasons, I would say because of many reasons, but it's okay. I'm going to see the context.
For example, we are judged for the clothes that we are using in that moment, and I think that we decide how that could affect us if we take it with a lot of, if we think that it's important, well, that will affect us.
Okay, the way you structure is good. is not incorrect. Just be careful with the words that I told you, appreciate and judged. Okay, everything else seems to be okay, Nicolas. It's related somehow, but in a certain way, all right, it's a little bit out of topic, because even though you're talking about, right, how other people judge you or you are judged by other people, all right, even though you're mentioning that, in a certain way, it's something that can come out from the main topic, but it is not the main topic, all right? It is not the main topic. So let's be careful with that one. Right now, perhaps it's not going to affect a lot, Nicolas, but in the next time, in the next activity, it has to be related. If we're going to listen to something, you need to speak, all right, and to talk about that specific thing. Here again, you're talking about something related to that, but that's not a specific thing. Okay, I don't know if you have any questions in this part, Nicolas, or any comments. Let me know, please. I'm going to listen to order of your founder's work.
No, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, good. You're welcome. So again, let's be careful, and this is for everybody. In the next activity, be sure that you're going to talk about that specific topic. If you talk about something similar, but it's not the specific topic, then the instructions are not going to be followed, at least not all of them. And in the criteria, look here, for example, Nicolas, it says, right, responsibility. Let's imagine that you uploaded all your activities, all right, the 5 recordings, good, you have 40. Then in vocabulary, you work with the 9 words and the examples and the definitions, good, you have 30. But here, recordings, as you were not able, this is an example, right, for the next activity. If you're not able to talk about the specific topic that was related to that one, then it was one instruction that was not followed. In the next activity, you recorded only 30 seconds, but you needed to record 1 minute. Then 2 instructions were not followed, right? Then in the other recording again, you are talking about something similar, but you are not talking about the main topic in the lecture or in the listening exercise. Then 3 let's say instructions are not being followed, all right? It's going to work like that. So the more instructions you don't follow in terms of time, in terms of the content of your audio, all right, that's going to reduce the score, and you may have even 0 if you don't follow any of the instructions, all right? But only for you to take into account, and that's for everybody. Okay, I'm going to go now to Estefania. I'm going to play hers. She's not here, but I'm going to give my feedback here. I'm going to tell her to listen to this and to watch this class, or well, this part of the class. Let's listen to what Estefania did very shortly.
Morality is considered a virtue.
Okay, so there, for example, she's saying that morality is considered a virtue. And that's something, yes, that's something that was mentioned in that lecture. So I can consider that it's part of the instructions.
It is a behavior that humans have.
Okay, it's a behavior that humans have. That was also mentioned.
Goodness or rightness.
Okay, good. So she's still mentioning more words about that lecture. Morality, goodness, right, rightness. We have a lot of concepts over there, and she's trying to give definitions from those or for those concepts. Okay, good. That's the way in which you can paraphrase. Try to use your words to explain what happened. It was definitions. Try to do something, but try to use the words that that person used and the same context.
It could be considered like a practice of moral, that as an example may be related to the love of God.
Okay, she's giving an example related, right? I think that was mispronunciation. It was related to the love of God. She's relating goodness, rightness with morality, with moral, and with one example that is the love of God. Okay, that was also mentioned.
Or the type of education we have in our houses, or the culture we have.
Okay, good. The last part also is better, like culture, the culture. So if you are able to listen to Stefania's answer, I think it's good. As yours was as well, Nicolas, yours was good. But the difference is going to be the following. I think she's closer to paraphrasing the specific lecture, all right? And that's something that we need to do. We need to try to get important words, morality, goodness, rightness, even love of God, and all those things that this person mentioned in the lecture, all right? That's going to be taken into account. And finally, I'm going to finish with Melanie's. I think she also has hers. This is a video. Okay, then I'm going to watch that later. Perhaps there's a problem, but that is the idea. All right, that was the first activity. I'm showing you this so that you understand more or less what you have to do and how I'm going to analyze this. So far, you three, the three of you who were on Monday, have the activity. That is good. All right, we're going to have today at least 4 more activities, and you have to upload them here. Okay? I don't know if you have any questions about this part. Perhaps you were not able to listen to everything, but what I was telling you is that it's important to follow the instructions in terms of what we need to record, how we need to record, the time that we need to record, and the content, right, that needs to be in that recording, that has to be related to that one. All right, be careful. I know that here I'm with you. I checked your essays and everything last last module. There are some people that were uploading the same document, all right, the same recording 5 times. All right, I'm going to check all of them. All right, don't try again. Perhaps you were very busy. It's better if you're honest with me. Tell me, teacher, I was not able to do it. Try to have a conversation with management. Try to tell me, and we're going to see what to do in terms of less percentage or something like that, right? But it's better to be honest than to do things like that, all right? And again, it happened. I know that it's not going to happen, but be sure that you upload the content that you need to upload, all right? Carolina, what questions or doubts do you have? Let me know, please.
Good evening, teacher. Sorry, I tried to saw the video of Monday because I couldn't be present. And in the link of the description of the group, it says that the channel was deleted or canceled. So
Okay.
I couldn't be able to do so.
Good that you're telling me, Carolina. That's very good. Yes, they also told me today that the channel, all right, was deleted. I don't know what happened. Perhaps it was copyright in terms of, I don't know, something happened. But they are going to create a new channel. What I'm going to do then, Carolina, and also Majo, I'm going to share with you the link because I have the recording in the Zoom platform, all right? So I'm going to share that one with you directly, all right?
Yes,
I'm going
please,
to do it
teacher.
after class, okay? And then you can watch that one, and that's it, all right? That's what we're going to do then, please. Carolina.
Thank you, teacher. And one more question. And after we watch the video, can we upload the homework until it's late?
Yes, you can. You have until Friday at 11:59 p.m. to upload it. My recommendation is that you are always in class because it's better if you upload in class. When you do that, I'm able to check, to listen to that, and to give you my feedback as I was doing now, right? I was doing that with Nicolas, and I heard to Estefanias. I wanted to listen to Melanie's, but it was a different format. I'm going to do it. You can do it until Friday, but I'm not going to be able to give you my feedback if you do it later on, all right? The advantage when you are in class and you upload your recording in class is that I can give you my feedback. But anyhow, in terms of the score and in terms of the acceptation of the assignment, you have until Friday every week, until Friday 11:59 p.m. to upload all your recordings, your PowerPoint presentation, and all the details that I'm asking in class. All right?
Thank you, teacher.
All right, you're welcome. There you go. So let's continue. In the meantime, I'm also going to try to do that actually with you here so that you don't wait. All right, I'm going to do this right away. I'm sharing the link, all right? In the chat, I'm going to share the link right now of yesterday's class so that you have that link and you can work on that. So it was, what was the date? It was 11, right? October 11th. This is the one. Okay, let me share this. Okay, good. So there you go. Sharing in the chat. That is the recording of Monday's class. Okay, there it is. It's in the chat. So Carolina, Majo, you can watch that class. And again, I cannot do this now because I spent the whole class, almost the whole class, all right, talking about that criteria and all those details. So it's important that you take a look at that. Okay, and again, if you have any other questions, let me know, but everything is going to be there. And also everything is here. You know how this works, right? Everything works with criteria. And if you go to, for example, the first in class activities, here you have the rubric with the 3 criteria that I evaluate. If you go to the oral presentation, that is for this Friday, right? Here you have important information that you have to read, please. And in the rubric, you have more criteria: pronunciation, vocabulary, paraphrasing, asking and answering questions, time management. So that you understand everything in detail, you can read, watch the class, and I think everything is going to be clear. Okay, so with that said, we're going to continue with this, our presentation. That was the first activity. Now we're going to go to the second strategy. Now this is very important. Some of you are still using Spanish up to this point, even if it's only one word, all right? But the ones who were in class with me on Monday, well, you know that we are not going to use Spanish anymore, not even one word, all right? Not even one word that you want to ask, no. It's going to be like that because you need to be independent, and I'm going to be there for you in the sense of helping you use the word and telling you if it's correct or not. But try to use dictionaries and try to use everything you can, but don't use Spanish, please. The Spanish is going to be penalized in the oral presentations, all right? And also in the, let's say, all the assignments that we're going to have in general, all right? So don't use Spanish. And the strategy is explain, don't use Spanish. That's the thing. So it says, here we have Spanish, right? You can use this word Spanish, of course. But the idea is over here, and you're going to help me out with this one. Majo, please read all the information that you have here, please.
Okay, teacher. Explaining rather than using Spanish. If you don't know how to say a word in Spanish, try to express that idea differently. I think that people in orfanato should receive more attention from. As you don't know the meaning of that word, restate your idea and make the listener understand what you mean. For example, there are these places, you know, in which children without parents are taken care of. Those are the places that should receive more attention from.
Thank you very much. Just be careful with this word, receive, right? Receive. Good. So if you don't know how to say orphanage, because it's orphanage, right? But this is the word in Spanish. Don't say the word in Spanish, all right? Do not use Spanish. Because if you go to the US, not all the words that you have in Spanish are similar to English. So you need to know how to go to that word without using that word. So you can say this, a place in which children without parents are taken care of. All right? So in this way, I'm referring to this place, but I'm not using the word in Spanish. The main idea is that you're able to explain words without using that word that is in a different language. We're going to practice, and as you know very well, when we practice, please, you need to turn on your cameras. Not all of you, please. Not all of you at once, because some of you are going to have problems with the cameras and with the connection. One by one, I'm going to call you, turn on the camera when you participate, and then turn off the camera, please. All right? That's going to help not only you in your connection, but it's also going to help your partners, because again, it may affect, all right, the stability and the connection of some of your partners. So I'm going to start with you, Melanie. It's going to be like a game. This time I'm going to use Spanish to play this game, all right? You have to explain this word that I'm going to say in Spanish, but try to explain in detail using English only. Don't give me the translation of the word. Give me an explanation of what this word is, all right? I'm going to give you two different words. One is going to be very simple and the other one a little bit more complex. So the first one is car, okay? Let's say that you don't remember how to say car. I mean, in Spanish, right? Auto. How do you describe that using English, but don't use the word car?
Okay, so I will say that this is a vehicle. Generally, is your own vehicle or maybe friends or family. Is something private, and you can go everywhere in this vehicle. I think that I would say.
Okay, if I ask you for more details, what is the physical aspect of this object that you're talking about? More or less.
Well, it's made from metal. I don't know, metal, aluminum, maybe, but other material. Have 4 wheels. Also have some, I don't know if it's like type of chairs inside the car, inside this vehicle. And yeah, generally there are 4 doors also. And yeah, I don't know the way, I don't know how to explain the shape of it. But yeah, I don't know how to, the shape, I don't know.
Okay, it's more than enough. That's perfect. The word chair, you call that seat. Good, good. That's very good. One more. This is going to be, well, it's not that complex, but how do you say, all right, university? All right, it's not complex. University. You don't remember that word. How do you explain that word?
So there is this place where the majority of the people needs to go after college, after high school. And there is a lot of students. You need to go there to learn things, and you also know a little bit about your passions and what you want to do in your future. So you go to this place to learn more about it and make some network and friends and take fun things.
Okay, good, good. I think that's more than enough. That's very good. Thank you, Melanie. Before going, I want you to tell me who is going to be next. Only one more person is going to participate, because then we're going to wait for the next strategy. Tell me one of your partner's names.
Let's see.
Majo. All right. Thank you, Melanie. That's it. You can turn off the camera. So, Majo, let's continue with you. The same logic. All right. I'm going to tell you one thing, and you need to explain that word without using Spanish and without using the translation. All right. You have to explain everything in detail about that one. I'm going to go now with, actually, the simple one is going to be this. Cell phone. All right. You don't remember how to say cell phone. You don't have to use Spanish. So how can you describe this?
Okay, it's an object that everything use exists in all the world, and that use is for call someone or
or search information.
Okay, what is the shape of this object? Is it a circle, or what is the shape of this object?
Teacher, it's a square
Okay, you can say very similar to a square or a rectangle, right?
or a rectangular, yes.
Okay, good. What else? You said that it serves to call people, right? What other functions does it have? What other functions does it have? What else can you do with that object?
That object have many applications to use. For search someone or an information or do homework or work too.
Okay, okay. What about, did you mention, for example, does it have a camera? Does it allow you to use, for example, social network and so on?
Yes, it's for use a social network and take photos. Yes, too.
Okay, okay, good, very good. I'm going to give you the next one, just short feedback. Remember, try to use also the right conjugation. It's an object that uses, that applies, and everybody uses this object, right? Everybody. Instead of everything, everybody uses this object. It had, instead of applications, you can say applications, but it's better if you say only apps over there. It has a lot of apps, right? A lot of elements that are going to let you do this and that. Good. The other word is going to be the following. Let's try to work with this one. It's going to be a profession, all right? So, psychologist, all right? Psychologists. How do you describe that?
Okay. Psychology of a person, a people, or
one profession. A psychologist is one person who is, who studied psychology, right?
Okay.
What else can you explain about that?
Is someone that learn at university, that one career that they learn about the how do the people teacher, I don't know.
You can say, I can help you with that one, right? Don't worry. If you don't remember that word, again, you can give examples, but I think the word you want to use is behave, right? How people behave in terms of what they do, right? You can say that. They understand how people do things and why people do some things, right? And I'm not using specific words. I'm using big words, right? Keep going. What else, Majo?
Okay, he's something that learned what happened in the mind of the persons, or what they think, and they learn the feelings and personalities.
Good, good. It's enough with that. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have any questions or comments related to this exercise, Majo. Let me know.
No, teacher, it's easy, but I need to practice more vocabulary.
Okay, okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Majo. And again, that's the intention, right? You can turn off the camera. The idea here is that when you feel what you were feeling, Majo, it's important, and that's not only something that happens to you, it happens to me, it happens to everybody, not only when you speak your native language or a language that you're learning. When you're speaking, right, in whatever situation you want, you don't remember certain words. You don't know how to say those words. So the main idea, if you were with me and you're going to watch the class, but I'm going to show you this. This is the big recommendation. Let me show you this one, right? And it says number 1, 2, 3. Don't look for specific words. When you look for specific words, sometimes you feel frustrated, all right? And you don't find that word and you want to say that word and you stop there and you say, okay, I don't know, and you stop speaking, all right? But don't do that. Instead of doing that, it's better again, keep your speech simple, right? Number 4, keep your speech simple. Try to use simple words. Try to use general words. In writing, I told you, right? Don't use do, don't use get, don't use have. No, but in speaking is the opposite. If you want to be fluent, right, while speaking, you need to use those big words so that you can replace those words by whatever other thing you want to say. If you don't remember the word behavior, right, that it works with psychology. A psychologist is a behaviorist because it learns about the behavior of people and so on and so forth. You don't know that, you don't remember that, don't say that. You can say it's a person that learned, right, about people and what they think. And that person can explain why those people do this or that. And that's it. In a certain way, you are explaining the same using other words and simpler words, all right? So try to do that. Don't stop because you want to use specific words. Don't look for specific words when speaking. It's better to be simple, all right, and to use words that you know and that you're comfortable with, okay? So with that logic, now this is the activity. And now this is for everybody. Please, so Majo, Melanie, Nicolas, Carolina, right now you need something to record. You can use your cell phone, you can use your computer. You are going to explain these words in English. You're going to do this right now. You have to record that. These words, all right, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4 words. Those 4 words, and you only have 1 minute and 30 seconds maximum. If you do it in more time, you're going to have less score. All right, only 1 minute and 30 seconds for all those words, not per word. All right, not 1 minute and 30 seconds for this one, 1 minute and 30 seconds for this one. No, 1 minute and 30 seconds for all these words. Okay. Let me know if you're ready to record. I'm going to ask you first, Carolina, do you have something to record right now? Let me know, please.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. Thank you. What about you, Nicolas?
Yes, teacher, I have my cell phone.
Very good. Thank you. Melanie, are you ready?
Yes, teacher, but sorry, I have a question. In the recording, we need to say the word, for example, teclado musical, Irisa, or something like that, or not?
Yeah, in this case, yes, do it, please. In that way, it's going to be easier for me to understand, right? Of course, I'm going to realize what you're talking about, but it's better if you say the word. This time you can use Spanish because of this practice. Say the word and then give me the explanation in English. All right?
Okay, thanks. Yes, I'm ready.
Good, very good. And what about you, Majo?
Yes, teacher, everything is clear. I have my phone.
Very good. So please, we're going to start. Okay, I'm going to set the timer. Give me 1 second. After you record now, right now, you're going to upload that to Google Classroom, right? So, where's my timer? It got lost, sorry. There you go. Okay, 1 minute and 30 seconds maximum, and you can start now. Do it, please. All right, so it's time. It was 1 minute 30 seconds maximum. Remember, if you have more than 1 minute and 30 seconds, it's going to be okay in the sense that I'm going to check that one, but you're going to have less score. All right, 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's the maximum time that you should use for this recording. Now, you know what to do. You have to go to Google Classroom, right? Go to Google Classroom, go to Unit 1, upload your first in-class activities, and upload your assignments, well, your recordings over here. Okay, do it, please. I'm going to go to the next strategy. While you're doing that, if you have any problems, let me know. But as I showed you in the group, if you uploaded one activity before, you can unsubmit that assignment, that recording, and you can add more files. Okay, do it if you uploaded something before. If it's the first thing you're going to upload, I think you are not going to have any problems. Okay, do it, please. And again, let me know if you have any problems. I'm going then to the next part while you're doing that, but please do it now, because at the end of the class, after we finish with the things we have to do, we are going to try to listen to some of them, and in the rest of the classes, perhaps we're going to keep listening to other ones. That was strategy number 2. This week, only 3 strategies, and then we're going with accents. This is similar, right? Use synonyms or similar expressions. Melanie, what questions do you have? Let me know, please.
Sorry, teacher, you said that I need to delete my homework now because there is
can you share your screen, perhaps, Melanie? You only need to unsubmit. When you unsubmit your assignments or your documents, they are not deleted. You only say to the platform that, okay, I'm still going to add more material, but it's not going to delete the file that you already have. All right, it's only going to unsubmit, and then you add the other file, and that's it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
I can.
Do you see that option? Let me know, please.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, do it. If you have any questions or any problems, let me know again, Melanie. And if I can help you out, you can share your screen and I'm going to guide you, but try, do it. And if you cannot do it, let me know.
We put the name like activity 2 or something like that?
Yes, please. It's better if you say activity 2 and you can, after that, write the word Spanish. Okay, activity 2, Spanish. Let's name the activities like that, please. So the first one was activity 1, paraphrasing, right? If it was only activity 1, it's okay. Okay, but if you said the 2 words, better. This activity is activity 2, Spanish. All right, now we're going to go to the third activity, synonyms or similar expressions. I know that you're doing that, but in the meantime, please help me out reading this information. Carolina, yes, read everything that you have in this slide, please.
Okay, teacher. Don't be radical. Say it differently. If you don't remember this word, manager, say the person in charge. If you don't remember this word, father-in-law, say my husband, wife's father.
Thank you very much. So this is similar to the previous step, but instead of explaining in a long way, you only need to look for a synonym for that word. You don't remember manager, say the person in charge. So in other words, look for other expressions or look for synonyms. Okay, if you don't remember the word behavior, you can say the way people act, the way people, I don't know, right, do things. And that's valid, that's understandable, right? So here, I'm going to ask you, the last time it was Majo and Melanie who participated. So I'm going to go with you now, first you, Nicolas. Okay, let's turn on the camera, Nicolas. And I'm going to tell you some words, and you're going to try to tell me some synonyms, all right? It doesn't matter if you don't know a lot of synonyms, but something that you consider is a synonym. This is something I mentioned before. For example, the word get. What is, or what are some possible meanings or synonyms that the word get may have, Nicolas? What do you remember about that word, get?
Oh, sorry. Have, obtain, get, have, obtain. I don't know, teacher.
Good, those are correct. Now I'm going to give you examples, and you're going to tell me what word I can use instead of get. I can use that in past. For example, if I say this, I went to the supermarket and I got, I don't know, some milk. And I got some milk. What are some words that I can use to replace got in that context?
Both.
Good, very good. So it means that get also may mean buy, right? Buy. In this other context, did you see your grades or the scores? I'm not happy because I didn't get the score that I wanted. I didn't get the score that I wanted. What word can you use there?
I didn't reach, I didn't obtain.
Very good, exactly. Reach, obtain, verb. Now I'm using a different word. This is a different verb. I mentioned this before, it's easy. If I say, I don't know if I'm going to have time to have some dinner tonight. What word can I use to replace have?
I'm not sure, teacher. Go. I
In
don't
this
know.
case, more than moving or an action, what is the most common thing that you do with food? You eat the food, right? So actually you can replace have with eat, all right? It means that have in a specific context can mean drink or eat, right? So using that logic, Nicolas, how do I say this differently? This question, do you want to drink some water? What can I use to replace the word drink over there?
Do you want to get some water?
And the other word that we used before could be the one in the previous example with dinner.
Eat, drink.
And what is the word that you can use to replace eat or drink?
I forgot it. Have.
Okay. Have, exactly. So instead of, do you want to drink some water? You can ask, do you want to have some water? All right, so you can use have instead of drink or eat in a specific context, all right? Now to finish this, Nicolas, the last question, and it's going to be actually something open for you. What other words do you know, or only one word, what other word, all right, one specific word, what is the other word that you know that may have a lot of different meanings?
What kind of word, teacher?
Any word, mainly verbs. Verbs are usually the ones who have a lot of meanings, but any word that you know, Nicolas, that can have a lot of meanings. For example, get is one, have is one. What other verb could have a lot of meanings? Or at least a couple of meanings that you know, or synonyms.
I guess the verb to be.
Okay, in which way? For example, what are the possible meanings of the verb to be? What do you say?
I don't know how to explain that, but there are several ways that you can interpret that verb.
Okay, I agree with you. Actually, in advanced English, the verb to be can be used in many ways. Also for giving instructions, right? Do you know how to use the verb to be to give instructions, to give obligations, Nicolas?
Yeah, yes, I think yes. I don't remember it very well, but
For
we saw it in previous module. I don't know.
okay. For example, this idea, you're going to try to tell me with the verb to be. This one, you must read the entire paragraph. That is an instruction. That is an obligation for you. How do you say that with the verb to be only? Instead of you must read the entire paragraph, what do you say with the verb to be? Do you
Read the
remember?
entire paragraph, like
But
an order. Read the
oh,
entire paragraph.
okay, good. That's an order, but you're not using the verb to be there. What is the other option in which you use the verb to be? How could it be?
I don't know, teacher.
All right, so it's good because we're having a conversation, right? We're practicing. You can say you are to read. Okay, if you say you are to read the entire paragraph, that is obligation. All right, that is instruction. It means that you can use the verb to be as instructions. As you were saying, the verb to be can be used in many ways. So you are to read the entire paragraph. That's in the chat. There you go. So that's one way that you have to use the verb to be. It's weird. It is mostly used in written English, but it's also used. All right, that's it. I don't know if you have any comments or
It's
questions.
like you are going to read or no?
More or less, but the idea that you are to read is more like you must read. Okay, you can replace the idea of you are to read as you must read. It's an obligation. This is very formal English. Okay, it's very, very formal English. If you check some of the instructions in international tests that are C2 level, for example, the Cambridge test, the instructions don't use must, don't use have to. The instructions use this structure. You are to listen to the lecture. Then you are to write what you were able to understand. It means that you must do it, that you have to do it. Okay? Any comments or questions? Let me know, please, Nicolas.
No, teacher, thank you.
Good. You're
It's
welcome.
good.
Great. There you go. So, again, this time it's only with you, Nicolas, and then we have one more part, and that's going to be with you, Carolina. All right, but not now, in the next part. So, this is the next activity. Remember that now you need to work with synonyms. Try to follow the logic that Nicolas and I were following. All right, this is for everybody. This is not for someone specific yet. The next part is going to be for you, Carolina. We're going to work with accents. Okay, but now I need you to get ready again. Have your cell phones or everything ready, okay? And you're going to do the following. You're going to help me reading the instructions, Carolina, here. Read activity, please.
Okay, teacher. Tell some synonyms and similar expressions of the following words. Therefore, important, say, bus, in conclusion, and get. Record yourself 1 minute maximum. Upload your recording to Google Classroom, Google Work, Unit 1, first week in class activities.
Perfect, thank you very much. So this is what you have to do. I imagine that you're ready. So please, what you have to do is, therefore, give me some synonyms or give me some expressions. Important, give me some synonyms and give me some expressions. The same for say, boss, in conclusion, and get. All right, you have to give me synonyms and or similar expressions. You only have 1 minute in total. All right, and as maximum. Let me set the timer. All right, actually the stopwatch. Please, you can begin now. Do it, please. All right. So let's stop, please. Perhaps you started afterwards, but remember, 1 minute, all right? Try to stop at 1 minute. Let that be the maximum so that you follow the instructions and you can like have the perfect score, all right? Again, here, the only thing you had to do is tell me synonyms. Therefore, what is something that you can say instead of therefore? Thus, right? As a result. Therefore, right? As a consequence of this. So that's an expression. So you can say all of that was correct. Important. You know some synonyms from the previous course, right? Vital, crucial, essential. It means that it is something, right, that we must take into account. Say, tell, declare, right, state, and so on and so forth. Boss, you had some examples before, right? The person in charge, the manager even. It's not the exact synonym, but some words that help you replace that idea, and so on and so forth, all right? And that's it. These are the 3 strategies for this week. Again, they are very simple. The next week, it's going to be like a lot of fun, all right? Because we're going to do very interesting things. I know that you're going to like that one. But here, we're going to do also something interesting. Again, please, it's important that you upload everything that you're doing here. If you're not doing so, you're going to lose some score, all right? It's important that you do it. For example, I see that not all of you have the attachments. Remember, well, I see, Melanie, you have the 2. Nicolas, you have the 2 over here. And of course, Carolina, you have that one. So try to upload this one as well. All right. So far, you should have 3 activities. All right. We have 3 activities so far. The one we did on Monday and the 2 that we did today. Okay. Those 3 activities have to be here. Now, while you are uploading that one, I'm going to close this one and I'm going to go to the next presentation so that we have time to analyze and play with this. This is important. I'm not spending more time with this because this is something for you to explore. Melanie, you mentioned also, I think, accents. I was mentioning that one and some of you as well. So this is going to be very, very interesting for you. I don't know if you know this webpage, the IDEA webpage. That's the International Dialects of English Archive. All right, archive. Be careful with that one. It's like, so this archive is a collection of a lot of recordings, all right, that is like comparing and showing you the big differences that you have in accents, English accents around the world, accents from Africa, accents from Asia, Australia, the Caribbean, Central America, right? Europe, the Middle East, North America, because you know in North America you have many more accents. So you have a lot of accents, all right? A lot of accents here. Right now we're going to compare this one. And actually I'm going to try to start this with you, Carolina. We're going to do this together. So let's try to turn on your camera, please, Carolina.
Okay, teacher.
All right, so good. As I told you, here you have accents from all around the world. We're going to try to focus, all right, on only 3 main places. It's going to be North America, because those are the accents that we want, and it's going to be Europe, but mainly in Europe, Great Britain, all right, and perhaps Ireland. From those places, all right, what is the region that you would like to go now? What is the region that you would like to listen to accents now? Would you like to go to North America, to, I don't know, England, to Ireland, Scottish land?
Could be maybe Germany.
Okay, so Europe, and let's go to Germany. There you go. So in places like this, or in countries that perhaps English is also spoken a lot, but it's not like the main thing, they only have this in general, but it's good. Here we have a collection, right? Female 24, male in the 20s, male 44, and so on. And some perhaps important information about that. I don't know, in any name, I think it's going to be good. Do you have any specific, do you want to listen to a male or to a female, Kelly?
I don't know, teacher.
Anyone?
Female? Yes,
A
anyone.
female? Okay, female, and it's going to be, let's see, 24. So again, people from Germany, from Europe, they usually have a very good and high level of English, right? Because English is part of what they learn. So pay attention. Here, this is going to be for you now, Carolina. I'm going to play something. Try to get what you can, and you're going to tell me more or less what this is going to be about.
This recording, Germany 21, is copyright the International Dialects of English Archive. Comma Gets a Cure is copyright Douglas N. Honorath, Jill McCullough, and Barbara Somerville.
Karma gets a cure. Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory. So she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror, and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain yellow dress and a fleece jacket, picked up her kit, and headed for work.
Up to that part, first try to tell me, and again, I'm doing this in group because you are also listening to that. I'm also going to ask you some comments related to this, all right, Nicolas, Marco, Melanie, but now this is for you, Carolina. First, what were you able to get over here? Just the information in terms of the content, not the accents yet.
Okay, it talks about a female, and it says about her history. I listen some things about her childhood, I think. It says something about a yellow dress and about the school, if I'm not wrong.
All right. Now I have a question. First, to be clear with all the words, what is the difference between story and history? What do you say?
I'm not sure, teacher. I thought it was synonymous.
Okay, synonyms. No, actually, they are not synonyms. All right. Why? When you talk about a story, you're talking about, for example, an experience that you lived before, all right? Your experience, right? I have a good story for you. This is what happened last week, right? That's a story. Something that happened, experience, or something that you can tell to other people in terms of someone else's experience, all right? But history is a subject, it's an academic subject, and history is related to dates, important dates that happened. For example, the World War II, that's something that's part from history, all right? So in this case, it's not history, right? It's not the girl's history, it's the girl's story, right? Good. Now, I'm going to play again, but this is also going to be for you. Try to identify the elements that you recognize as unique from someone that is from Germany, because I'm sure that you were able to see and to identify in the sense see or perceive that the accent, right, is there, right? You notice that this is not a native English speaker, right? You notice that this is a person from other country, right, from a different country that is speaking English. So let's listen to that once again. Pay attention to the consonants, to the vowels, to the overall of the word, and to the differences of the words that you usually, all right, pronounce in a certain way, but here it's different. So let's listen.
In a deserted district, Karma gets a cure. Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory. So she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror, and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain yellow dress and a fleece jacket, picked up her kit, and headed for work.
All right, up to that part. In general, I don't want to be, all right, I don't want you to be an expert and tell me this detail. No. In general, what are you able to get in terms of the accent?
I think she can pronounce R really, really clear. Also, the S is really, really strong. I think it's more like a British English, in which they, I think they pronounce some words more like, for example, water. They said water or something like that. I hear something like that, I think.
Okay, good. Yes, and that's a very, very good observation. Of course, in Germany and other countries, right, that are part of Europe, they learn the English that is the British English, right? Of course, they listen to the American English, but the British English is the one that is there and that they learn. So good. That's a very good observation. And I don't know, do you speak German or do you know a little bit of German, Carolina?
Yes, teacher. I actually think it's well, I think it's really difficult, but I find some similitudes as French. I have a pair of cousins that live in Canada, and they can't pronounce R. So for they, it's difficult to pronounce my name. And I also pass French classes, and it's really difficult for me. The most difficult is the pronunciation, I think, because, well, I confuse some things. So I related to that.
Okay, and do you see that? That's great. I'm asking you because I think you mentioned that, and I want you to tell me, do you notice or do you think that German, I mean the native language, is affecting the way she's speaking? You were talking about the R's and some consonants, right? What is in German, for example, something that you notice that is influencing this? For example, you mentioned the R, but what else? Are there other elements that you feel that are affecting the English pronunciation, the native language?
I think maybe the TH, because I think she pronounced, she can't thou. She said other thing I didn't hear really well, but I think it's hard for she. Maybe the S, because I hear really strong the S. I think that.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. That's it, Carolina. Now, I'm going to go and we're going to start working together in this way. Now, I'm just going to ask you, I'm going to go with you, Majo. I'm going to go now to the US, all right, to North America. Here we have a lot more options because, of course, you have a lot of places, but here, as you can see, you have a lot of states. So tell me one state that you would like to listen to the accent, Majo, from the US.
California, teacher, please.
Okay, there you go. We're going to go to California. We have a lot of options over here. We have 15. It's good. We heard to a female last time. We're going to go with a male now. You're going to recognize something, but you're going to tell me that one, Majo. Male from Los Angeles, and let's see this one. It's the same age, 26, but this time it's a male. The same. I'm going to play this. Pay attention. Try to tell me, of course you are, and we are, right, used to listening to these accents. But tell me again everything that you're able to understand and the characteristics of this accent, okay?
This recording and Barbara Somerville.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinarian nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in the desert district of the territory. So she is very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning, she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror, and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put a plain yellow dress on and fleece jacket and picked up her kit and headed for work. When she got
Up to that part. So what can you tell me in this first part? In any kind of sense, Majo, if you want to talk about the content, if you want to talk about the accent, in general, what can you tell me about this person from California?
Teacher, I know that he don't pronounce clear and don't pronounce the phrase complete. For example, even say job, only job or job. See, a little, don't pronounce clear the consonant.
All right, so some words are cut off, right? They are cut off. They are not complete. Okay, good, good. In terms, I know he's reading, right? You realize that he's reading, and sometimes he's insecure and he's like not knowing some words and kind of reads insecurely. But what about the content? Do you, well, were you able to identify some important elements in terms of the content? And what can you do, or what can you tell me in terms of the previous content? Is it the same content? Were you able to listen to the previous recording as well? Majo, what can you tell me about this difference?
No, teacher, not is the same content.
Okay, and what is the difference between accents from the accent that we heard from Germany and this accent that is from the US and California? Do you recognize some differences between these two?
Yes, there are a lot. Some that important is the pronunciation to R in the Germany is so clear, but with him not.
All right, I'm going to play it once again. Try to identify other words. You mentioned one, that's good. Try to identify one or two more words in which you recognize something kind of different or peculiar. Okay, let's play it once again.
area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning, she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror, and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put a plain yellow dress on and fleece jacket and picked up her kit and headed for work. When she got there was a woman with a goose waiting for her. The woman gave Sarah the official letter from the vet. The letter implied that an animal could be suffering from a rare form of foot and mouth disease, which was surprising because normally you would only expect to see it in a dog or a goat. Sarah.
All right, up to that part. All right, what can you tell me? Okay, don't worry, I'm going to send that to Melanie. Thanks for letting me know. Now, keep going, please. Majo, what can you tell me about that part? Were you able to identify some differences in terms of the words, some peculiarities, something that is different to the way you pronounce the words?
I listened to peculiarity letters that pronounce T and D more than other girl.
Okay, do you remember some words to give me the example? What words do you remember, or what example can you give me related to that?
Teacher, I don't remember.
Okay, don't worry, okay? We're going to try to analyze. Then give me just 1 second. All right, thank you. Now I'm going to send this information to Melanie. I'm going to do it right away. Just 1 second, please. And what we're going to do now, we're going to listen to 2 kinds of accents, all right, extra. And then you're going to choose one, because here goes the next activity. Okay, this is going to be the next activity. And be ready because you need to imitate. Here you're going to play. You're going to imitate a little bit, all right, the accent, but you have to choose a different accent from the one you're used to. You're going to choose a kind of accent that is kind of difficult for you, that is different for you and difficult for you, all right? In that way, you're going to, well, do something a little bit different, all right? Now, please, if you give me this, I'm going to send this information. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to send a password to Melanie. I think she's having some problems. So give me please 1 second. There you go. I'm sending you please, Nicolas, over here. I'm also going to send this to Melanie, but if you can send that to her, there is the ID and also the password.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, just in case I'm sending this to her as well. Okay, so if you have any problems, please let me know like that. Sometimes I don't check my cell phone, and right now I was not checking it just because Nicolas told me to do so. I'm doing it. All right, now it's done. Now we're going back. And where's my screen? There you go. Okay, so thank you very much again. First Carolina and then Majo. Now we're going to work this last one in general, then one with me, but this is going to be with you, Nicolas. With you, we're going to go to Europe and we're going to go specifically to England. All right, let me change that one. And Great Britain, England. You know, Great Britain is England, Scotland, and Wales. England, and with me, then we're going to go to Scotland. And from England, Nicolas, tell me one that you would like to listen to, please. You have the Southwest, you have the Southeast of England, you have London, you have the East, all right? You have the East Midlands, you have the West Midlands, and you have Humber, Yorkshire, and other places, the Northwest, and so on and so forth. Which one would you like to listen to, Nicolas?
Which is the easiest, teacher?
The easiest, the one we are used to is the London accent. Do you want to listen to that?
Okay, London.
Good. So it was male. Let's go to, well, one female once again, this one. The same. Now, in general, Nicolas, again for you, try to identify, all right? You turn on your camera this time, please, Nicolas, and try to identify many elements in terms of the content and in terms of the accent. If you were able to listen to the German accent and to the US accent, right? You're going to tell me and you're going to notice some difference, some important differences between this one and the other ones, okay? Listen and pay attention to details in terms of content and accent, please. Let's do it.
This recording, England 79, is copyright the International Dialects of English Archive. Comma Gets a Cure is copyright Douglas N. Honorath, Jill McCullough, and Barbara Somerville.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory. So she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning, she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain yellow dress and a fleece jacket, picked up her kit and headed for work.
All right, up to that part. Well, in this case, the audio quality is not that good. It's challenging, I know. It's not easy. For some of you, could be not easy. For some of you are more used to British English. There are differences, all right? But in general, Nicolas, what can you tell me about this accent and the content of this listening file?
Well, for me, they speak faster than other people who has different accent, and it's like they don't care about to pronounce the complete word or complete in a good way the word.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, in particular, right, this person is reading this very fast. Not all people from England, right, and from London speak like this, but yes, in general, the British accents, and people from there, the ones who are used to that accent, they speak like that, right, on a daily basis. Now, I want you to identify something, Nicolas. As I was doing with Majo, try to get at least 2 or 3 words, all right, 2 or 3 words. Try to write them down, and you're going to try to pronounce the words in the way they pronounce the word. All right, in this case, this girl. For example, pay attention to the word tower. If you listen to that word, try to tell me how she's going to pronounce to tower, right? This one. Give me a second. I'm writing that over here for everybody. Okay, if you listen to that one, if you're not able to get where this word is, any other words, all right, but try to memorize the pronunciation and try to get at least 2, all right? Let's do it.
Story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory. So she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning, she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain yellow dress and a fleece jacket, picked up her kit and headed for work.
So up to that point, right? Any words that you were able to get, and you can try to imitate the accents so that we identify and recognize the main differences between accents. What do you say, Nicolas?
Well, for that word, instead of tower, she said something like tower, something like that.
Very good. Is there any other word that you were able to get that the pronunciation or something was a little bit different?
Square. It's okay. Square, but she said square.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you very much. All right, that's it, Nicolas, with you. Very good. Square, right, and tower. Good. We're going to go back to those differences, all right? Now I'm going to work with this last one, but now I'm with you, Melanie. We're going to work together. So please turn on your camera if it's possible, all right? If you're having some problems, don't worry. This time you told me that you're having some problems. If it's okay, turn it on. If not, you're going to help me. I'm going to go to Europe once again. And with you, we're going to go to Scotland, all right? This is the nightmare for many people who learn English, Scotland, because they believe that this is one of the hardest accents that you may have in English, okay? But again, this is not, I don't want you to pay attention that much to the content. I want you to pay attention to the accents. You may be able to identify some words, and I want you to tell me about the differences that you may notice. Here, believe me, they are reading this information, so it's not going to be as hard, okay? It's hard if you look for some videos on the internet and people from Scotland just speaking over there, that's hard. But here, as they are reading, it's not going to be that hard. So take advantage of that one and pay attention to words as I was doing with Nicolas, tower, square, and tell me, you're going to tell me what is the main difference that you notice between that accent and other accents that you listened to before, okay? We worked with a female, the last one, now we're going to a male once again. And let's go with any of those. This one, let's see. All right, so let's pay attention.
This recording Dialects of English Archive. Comma Gets a Cure is copyright Douglas N. Onroff, Jill McCullough, and Barbara Somerville.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah was a nurse who had been working in a deserted district of the territory for a long time, so she was very happy to start a new job in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning she felt stressed. She checked herself in the mirror and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain white dress and a furry yellow fleece jacket, picked up her kit and headed for work. When she got there, there was a woman with a goose waiting for her. The woman gave Sarah a letter from the vet. The letter implied that the animal could be suffering from a rare form of foot and mouth disease, which was surprising, because normally you would only expect to see it in a goat.
Good. And even if you realize, you're lucky, because I think this is even easier than the other ones. All right. He's speaking in a very interesting way, perhaps of some part of what he did, or something must be over here. All right. Traveled. Oh, okay. So it says here, influences of speech. The subject had traveled extensively in Europe and America over a 2-year period prior to recording. So perhaps that's why it feels like that this is not a real Scottish accent, because it's influenced, as you noticed, by other kinds of accents and the American accents. That's why it's kind of clear. So what do you notice? Even though it's influenced by American accents, we can notice that, I'm sure. What do you notice here in general, in this subject, in this part?
So I think he's more in comparison of the other. He's not like putting I don't know, like emotion, let's say. For example, the other is like they are make the words larger, but now I feel that he is like stress, for example, and things like that. So it's really clear the difference between the words between these words, for example. So it's like you can recognize when finish one word and when start the other. That was the hardest for me for the others, because it's like really fluent, I think. And here I think was the same as before. They are not finished all the pronunciation part. For example, one that catch my attention was he was talking about a hair. So he don't say like a hair with the air at the end. It's like just hair or something like that. It's not, you don't sound these stress words in the air. And this the same for here is like just hair, and this is not the sound of air, I think. So that's interesting.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're doing something interesting. You're right. I think that this person is reading this as if he knew that this is going to be for someone else that needs to understand the information. It's clearer, right? It's clearer because it's divided, and it's like this word. What you're identifying is very good. We're going to go to a different one because, again, this is weird. It says Scotland, but I wouldn't say that this is kind of accent. The ones that you mentioned are very interesting in her and here. But there is one way, and actually I'm going to tell you something. All of them are talking about the same thing, and all of them are reading the same text, right? The same text. All of them are saying exactly the same words, right? Exactly the same words. So this is also, you have this webpage because you can practice this. You can listen to all these kinds of accents, reading the same documents, and you can make comparisons. All right, I'm going to try to go to one that, well, I hope I'm going to go with one that is 80 years old. This lady has been there for a lot of time, all right? I imagine that her accent is going to be like the Scottish accent. Let's see, all right? Let's suffer a little bit. But you know, it's the same text. I just want you to see the difference in accents. I don't want to torture you, Melanie, so.
This recording and Barbara Somerville.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory, so she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower. That area was much nearer for her and more to her liking. Even so, on her first morning she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked herself in the mirror, and washed her face in a hurry. Then she put on a plain yellow dress and a fleece jacket, picked up her kit, and headed for work. When she got there was a woman with a goose waiting for her. The woman gave Sarah an official letter from the vet. The letter implied that the animal could be suffering from a rare form of foot and mouth disease, which was surprising, because normally you would only expect to see it in a dog or a goat.
Good, up to that part. Even though she's speaking slowly, I think that's the accent that I was waiting for, all right? There are many more differences than in comparison with the other ones, right? What do you say about this accent, Melanie?
For me, this one was easier to understand than the other ones because I feel the same, like the words were separate in each way, like you can understand what she's saying. For example, in the records before, I didn't understand the profession. Now, if I am not wrong, I get that she's a veterinarian. So I get that information in this file, but before was kind of difficult. For me, this is kind of similar that we are used to hear usually in conversation or even, I don't know, practicing a little bit. I think that we can understand this because she's not cutting anything and she, as you said, is talking slow right now.
Good, that's right, and you're right. But in the sense of the words, because if you see, there's a big difference between the way she says, even the name. Were you able to get the name of the girl from the story?
Well, something with Cecily, something like that.
Okay, we're going to listen to that. It's actually Sarah. All right, Sarah. It's Sarah. But if you listen, you're going to listen once again to the other recordings, and you're going to see that, and you're going to hear that the other ones say Sarah. Even if it was fast, they say Sarah, 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 Sarah. There is like consistency over there. But pay attention to this accent. And again, she's speaking slowly. She's reading. But let's listen to the name.
And Barbara Somerville.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry.
That's the name. So how is she pronouncing the name Sarah?
Like with E, I think like Sarah.
Right, exactly. Zira. And actually they have very big changes. Again, here we are, all right, you're lucky here, and we're lucky here because they are doing this, all right, very slowly. But they do this. They change words, all right, in a sense that sometimes you don't get what's the real word, all right, because they change us to that E sometimes, Zira. And I'm going to show you some other words.
Was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory.
Okay, in that word as well, how is she pronouncing territory? Territory, how is she pronouncing that one? How is she pronouncing the R? Who can tell me that? Who can try to imitate her R? R, I'm going to do it once again.
Well, here's a story for you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory.
All right. Who wants to try? Try you first, perhaps, Melanie. How is she pronouncing territory?
Territory.
All right. What do you say? I'm going to go with you, Carolina. What do you say with this one? How is she pronouncing territory?
I actually don't know how to pronounce exactly, teacher. I think it's British also. I'm not sure.
Okay. What do you say, Nicolas? Were you able to get that word? How is she pronouncing this word?
Something like territory.
Okay. We're going to listen to this once again. Okay, and we're about to finish, don't worry. But what I'm trying to do is the following, and I'm going to tell you.
For you. Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse who had been working daily at an old zoo in a deserted district of the territory.
Terry. It's like, if you listen to that, it's even more similar to Spanish. Territory, all right, territory. That's not the R you use in British English, not even in American English, right? Territory, it's the territory. Center, that's British, center. But they, in Scotland, they say territory. Sarah Perry, right? It's like that kind of accent that it's very, very different. Again, even though here we can hear that clearly, you may notice, and that's what you have to notice. because it's going to be helpful when you're listening to the TOEFL exercise you were telling me. If you're able to identify those small differences and you can apply those words, those differences to other words, it's going to be easier for you to understand what that person is saying. All right, try to get how they are pronouncing the A in Zira, how they are pronouncing the R in territory. And I'm going to show you one more, all right, to finish the class and give you the instruction, because you're going to record this after this class. That's going to be the last activity.
So she was very happy to start a new job.
Right? It's not very, it's very. It's like, it's very similar to Spanish.
At a superb private practice in North Square.
Right? Practice. It's even they would say that that's the little sound that you got from Russian sometimes. All right?
Near the Duke Street Tower.
And that word. And actually, this is something important for you. I know, and you told me that you want to practice with accents. So please, I'm going to show you. The PDF, it's here. If you go to speaking strategy, accents, unit 1, accents, and it says, comma gets a cure. This is what everybody is reading. Well, except we have exceptions, but that's a different PDF. I don't have that one, but I have this one. This is the one that they are reading. Okay. And the activity you're going to do is related to this, right? It says, Sarah Perry was a veterinary nurse, right? Who, and blah, 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 blah. And this word, pay attention to how she's pronouncing this word. It's tower. But listen to this. You tell me if this is tower or not. Here, I think because we listen to this many times, we understand. But if it was the first time and only this word, I don't know if you will be able to get that word.
Territory. So she was very happy to start a new job at a superb private practice in North Square near the Duke Street Tower.
Tower. It's not even tower, not tower, not that. It's tower. All right, tower. So it's very, very different. Okay, so again, I'm showing you that because it's important that you identify that one. And actually, your activity is going to be related to this. All right. And to these accents, you're going to have 2 more activities. And I'm going to tell you now. If you have any questions or comments, let me know, because I'm going to explain now what you're going to do. What we did was this. We explored and we listened to different kinds of accents, right? We tried to imitate some of those accents, but what you're going to do is the following. After this class, because we're going to finish here, all right? You can do it after this class. You can do it tomorrow before the next class. It's up to you. It's better if you do it now, right? First, you're going to look, okay, pay attention, because that's not here. Here is only one part of the assignment, one part of the activity, but you need 2 more. First, you're going to go to this web page. If you want, I'm going to send you. All right. That one, and also it's in the platform. Okay, it's in the platform. So if you want, you can go over there. That's the link. But again, you have this presentation. If you go to this presentation, you go here, right? You press Control and you click, and you go directly to the web page. Okay, Control click. You may know that, but if in case you don't, that's what you have to do. When you do it, you go directly to the web page. You have to go to this part, dialects and accents. Go to that part, go to Europe, okay? Please, this is what you have to do. Go to Europe and go to Scotland, all right? You're going to select any of those. Again, in order for you to practice, to try to get the important and the differences, all right? The important part and the differences between these accents. Try to choose one accent on one of these recordings that is kind of really challenging for you. You don't need to understand, all right, anything, because you have the, where is it? You have the PDF, all right? You have the, here. You have the content. This is what they are going to read. So what you have to do is, please, listen to that as we were doing it.
Been working daily at an old zoo.
And you're going to imitate that accent by, of course, imitating the words and also reading this. Okay, so you don't need to understand. I don't want you to understand yet. What I want you is to imitate the accent. That's the important thing here. Okay, for 1 minute. Listen to that. After you listen to a part, record yourself. Pum, 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 pum. Pause it, listen to that again, and record it. Pause it and record it. 1 minute in total. Okay, you have to imitate the Scottish accent for 1 minute. Okay, that's the first activity. And the second activity is that you're going to choose any of these accents, anyone, all right? If you want an accent from Africa, do it. But do the accents that you're interested in. For example, you can go to Australia, right? Australia, and select one of those and you imitate that, all right? And you do the same. You listen to that, and for 1 minute, you imitate that accent. So in total, you need to have 2 recordings, 1 minute each recording, and you have to imitate that accent, all right? And you have to imitate that accent. And again, you have the PDF with the text, all right, with the script, let's say, so that the only thing you're going to do is listen to that and reading this for 1 minute each. Do you have any questions? With that, we are finishing today's class. Let me know if you have any questions or doubts, please. No? Okay. Good. Everything is here. Everything is Unit 1. Here's the presentation, accents. There you can get the webpage. And here is the PDF with the script, right, that you have to read while listening to the accent and imitating it. That's it. Again, if there are no more questions, again, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the class. I'm going to ask you to fill out the survey as you always do. And if you don't have any more questions, I'll see you tomorrow for the next session to keep practicing your listening skills, and that's it, okay? Have a good night and see you tomorrow, guys.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye-bye, you're welcome.
Bye-bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye-bye.